You can do this, Ashala. You can. Oh, my stomach.
Well, I think that's quite enough. Next. Another performer? Take the stage whenever you're ready, sweet. I'm not going anywhere. Well done. Come, talk. No more auditions for today.
Oh, curses!
Of all the rotten luck.
My, you certainly do have a talent for juggling. One might almost say your hands work like magic. Tell me, why do you wish to join the House of Reveries? A wonderful answer, but it's not very creative, is it? I'd work on that. You'll want something more dramatic if you wish to impress the Grand Maestro. Still, I'd be happy to sponsor you for house membership, if you complete my challenge, of course. When we join the troupe, we abandon our old selves and take an identity reflected in our masks. What unique item suits you, I wonder? A griffin feather? Yes, that would be lovely. Go collect a feather and meet me in front of the Manor of Masks. Why, I put you through your paces. After all, I've deemed you worthy to perform for the Grand Maestro himself. Whether he offers you membership is beyond my ken, but I've never made the mistake of leaving him bored. See that you don't embarrass me. You may join us, if you wish. Cast aside your old life, become who you truly wish to be. Live for your art, for the stage, for the sound of applause. But you must never reveal your old identity. It is our only absolute. Have you happened to meet an artist in Summerset? Had that distinct pleasure? All they care about is fame. But within our troupe, we live only for our passion. To prove that devotion, we rid ourselves of the past and live only for the present. We always wear a mask. To your mother, you are an innocent child. To your lover, a sinful treat. A friend to your companions, a terror to your enemies. But many here find their true selves within their craft, within their passion. I know I have. Oh, not much, I'm afraid. I have many names, but my true name is spoken only in the dead of night, and only in the softest whispers. I am the daughter of a dragon, and a rather robust Telvanni. I spit fire and turn into a wyvern on the full moon. Only me, of course. I'm teasing you. I was actually born whole from the earth when a lonely sapiarch cast a spell to create a wife. He was attractive, I'll give him that, but boring, so I left him with a mud pie and ran off to join the theater. Oh, you're no fun. I'm actually a simple farmer's daughter who learned to mimic voices when I was but a babe. A life of plows and livestock was not for me, sadly, so here I am. Do you understand? We can be anyone here. You can be anyone. Did I? Well, let's see. Have you taken a lover recently? What was their name? Oh, are you in a committed relationship? Or was it a one-night tryst? Did you lift them to the heights of ecstasy or leave them unfulfilled and disappointed? It's a question, isn't it? A personal question like yours, a question one stranger should never ask another in polite company. I have sponsored many in my time with the House of Reveries, just as one once sponsored me. Those names are theirs alone.
Dawnbreaker, open the way! Oh, come on! Stupid Daedric interference! I'll be back!
He attacked Eldon, and one of those horrible creatures tore off my hood!
That young woman was certainly in a hurry. And what was that about an Adoral and an attack? Yes, well, let's be on our guard then. I don't think this sinkhole is completely natural. Its size concerns me. If the ground continues to fall away, it could swallow all of Relenfiel. It certainly feels dangerous. And if it does figure into the Court of Bedlin's plans, well, I can't think of a more frightening event than watching Relenfiel get swallowed by a sinkhole. Let's proceed and find out what's going on down here. The walls and ceiling, they don't look stable. I'll try to reinforce the weak spots and catch up with you. More of those Yagra creatures. Be careful. The size of this place. It's almost as if someone dug up through the island. I'll teleport closer to the central area and meet you there.
Someone there! Help!
Crazy bastard stabbed me. God, this hurts. It was just kind of fun. Joining the court of Bedlam. Espousing the virtues of our Ultima heritage. But Nadoral, he took things too far. When we heard that they planned to release those creatures, I made the mistake of saying they were insane. Nadoral objected, called me unworthy. That's when he stabbed me.
The Court of Bedlam will eradicate the lesser races. Maybe even deal with our unworthy queen.
Over here. Keep quiet and tell me if you see what I see. You see that, right? My eyes aren't playing tricks on me. That's a sea slode. They haven't been seen in Summerset since, well, it's been centuries at least. A vile and dangerous species. Very powerful. The sea slode come from the distant underwater kingdom of Ulvorkus. Who's that hooded figure with the slode? And look, more of those abyssal pearls. They're everywhere. The slode are a godless people. Perhaps the most hated in Tamriel. And the sea slode are even worse. They employ depraved magic and have long coveted Summerset. They believe it once belonged to them. They pillage, release plagues. They're horrible. The hooded figure could be a member of this so-called Court of Bedlam. At this point, nothing would surprise me. That slode has me worried, though. I can't think of anything worse than an alliance between those foul beasts and Daedric cultists. They could certainly have a connection to the sea slode's submerged kingdom, but they appear to have been placed down here. Look how the Yagra are drawn to them. I'll head for the sea slode. You deal with those abyssal pearls.
Heed me, my creatures! Destroy the intruders!
That young idiot. We need to get over there.
Witness the power of Katora, the Abyssal Cabal!
This way! Up here! Damn! No sign of where the sea slow disappeared to. Damn it! I wasn't fast enough. For the time being, let's see what's through that opening. The sea slode left us something to remember it by. We need to dispatch that creature. There! I think we can get out over there.
Hurry, this way! Somehow Raz knew he'd find you here.
Sea slodes? This is worse than the Right Master imagined. Meet me in Artaeum after you talk to the Queen's Eye.
Did the pretty Sijik say sea slode? No. Raz must have heard wrong. That could not have been what she said. Slode? That's bad. And sea slode? That sounds even worse. If the sea slode threatens Summerset, Queen Irene must be informed. We need to act. Wait. What did you say about the Cannon Reeve's son? Daedra worshippers. In Summerset. And slowed. Oh, Raz likes this situation less and less. As for Nedoro, Raz knows how to deal with traitors. This one will meet you at the Cannon Reeve's house.
dark. What Maormer magic is this that makes water burn and clouds drip serpents from the sky? Just a taste. For the full performance, you must come and see my evening show. I promise there won't be a dry eye in the house.
The Eye of the Queen? How dare you accuse my son of treason? The Queen's Eye. How dare he not identify himself when he first arrived? And how dare he accuse my foolish son of something as serious as treason? The Queen shall hear of this, mark my words. Sea slowed? Plus all this nonsense about Altma's superiority, and now murder? I am the Canon Reeve of Relenthil. I took an oath to serve and protect my community. How in the Queen's name am I supposed to reconcile my son's actions? Oh, Nadoril, what have you done? Please, you must talk to the Queen's Eye. He needs to show mercy. I'm sure we can find a way to resolve this without... Oh, here comes Nadoril now.
I have a lot to answer for? The court of Bedlam is going to turn me into a god!
Foolishness can be ignored. Murder and treason, not so much.
You and your queen have no authority over a true Altma, you mangy cat.
This one cannot allow your crimes to stand unanswered.
Nadoril! No! No! I understand. Relenthil is loyal to the Queen.
Sometimes the eye sees treason and must cut it out before it spreads. This one is sorry you had to witness that. Blasphemy, treason, murder. How many crimes must one commit to attract the attention of the executioner's blade? Raz decided that a message had to be sent. Enemies of the Queen will not be tolerated. Treason and the Queen's justice are serious business. Raz has been forced into this role on rare occasions, but he never seeks it out or looks forward to wielding the blade. A necessary part of my job, yes. No. Raz will see to the Canon Reeve and send word to the Queen before looking deeper into the Court of Bedlam. You should return to Arteum and let the Siegiks know what we learned. I tell you, Five Claw, this whole situation makes Raz want to hiss.
What?
I know.
Well?
I'm rather busy right now.
You're lucky I didn't take a swing at you. Don't you know there's something abducting people around here? Move on and don't do that again.
Enough, Silery. These mysterious deaths are our business to solve, not yours.
Little busy at the moment. You know, now's not the time to be wandering around, what with the gruesome killings and clueless investigators. Could wind up dead, or answering questions until you wish you were. From what I gather, Soldiers at Caton Keep have been disappearing in the night, only to have their desiccated bodies show up days later. The garrison's completely spooked. I came to look into it, but the Divine Prosecution beat me here. We don't exactly see eye to eye when it comes to hunting baddies, so now they're going to spend weeks questioning soldiers and measuring footprints, while more people get turned to jerky. Actually, maybe you could help me with that? I really thought I was going to have to do a lot more convincing. Helping strangers break into keeps a hobby of yours. Odd hobby. What I really need is a distraction. If you can keep Lindefway at the gate, busy for a minute, I can handle the rest. I have a document saying I'm an inspector sent by the Proxy Queen to investigate. But since Lindefway and everyone else in there knows that's not true, I can't use it. You, though. Show it to Lynn, act all high society, and waltz right in. Doesn't matter. It'll buy me time to sneak past either way. If you do get inside, all the better. We can partner up. I'm sure you'll do fine. It helps if you imagine a really big stick up your spine. Straight back. Perfect. All right, Royal Inspector. Off you go. Just talk like you've never interacted with an actual person at any point in your life. We'll put a stop to these killings, and maybe not even get arrested. Fun, right? The Divine Prosecution are great at stopping crime and rooting out sedition. But stuff like this, things that go bump in the night, that's when you need a specialist. It's a hobby. Well, more of a lifelong calling that leaves me little time for hobbies, but I'm doing what I love, and in my own way, and I'm really good at it. Not that the Divine Prosecution would ever admit it. The Divine Prosecution cordoned off the area, and like I said, they're not big fans of me. I may have been a bit indelicate when I suggested they collectively had the hunting sense of a blind cliff racer. These things happen. They keep the peace in Summerset, mostly by making sure no one steps out of line. When something's amiss, they investigate and kick the problem in the teeth, if need be. Too dogmatic, though. Who cares about procedure when lives are on the line? Only slightly, and the Order has bigger concerns at the moment. Once it's clear you're not a suspect, I'm sure they'd let you off with a stern warning. But we're not going to get caught, right?
This keep has been ordered sealed by the Divine Prosecution, pending the completion of our investigation. Please be on your way. That's interesting, because investigating these killings is obviously the jurisdiction of the Divine Prosecution, so something tells me you're full of Griffin guano. Give me one reason why I shouldn't hold you for questioning. Let me see those. Looks official. I don't know who you are, but this investigation is clearly under our purview. This is about politics, isn't it? Always politics. Of course you can't. Fine, go inside. I won't stand in your way, but stay out of mine.
Quit bothering me, you damn yep. Oh, sorry. What do you want? I got enough dung heaped on me from these damn high elves before the bodies started piling up. Now they're eyeing me like some damned rabid dog and badgering me with a bunch of ignorant chuff. How about you let me get back to my business now, yeah?
You must have clenched pretty hard to sell those forged papers to the likes of Lynn. Relax, before you sprain something. Now all we have to do is find and kill a murderous Daedra that's evaded capture for weeks. Easy, right? Most killers don't suck out all your organs and leave a corpse with the consistency of stale bread. Mortal ones, anyway. And neither do vampires, for that matter. Aside from that, I have my methods of sniffing out Daedra. Well, when you expose the stem of an attuned Wilder King rod to air that someone breathed in the presence of a Daedra, it glows orange. Also, my latest Squabblood scribing said, you know what, just watch and learn. I'm getting to that. Don't rush me. Just stand back and don't radiate any palpable evil, all right? This is a little trick I picked up in Coral. Stendar, shine your righteous light on those that would flee your justice. Show me where evil lurks, and I will deliver retribution. 2 lights. There's not supposed to be... All right, whatever. I'll follow this one. Follow that light and see where it leads you. Then meet me inside the refectory. Go, go!
This one has not had to clean up after one of these killings, for which he is grateful. Though he has heard there is not much to clean up, so perhaps not.
Ah, the accomplice. Welcome. Two arrests in one day. This is going to reflect well on my next report. Oh, did you? Well, let me see it then. The Insatiable, is it? Who writes this rubbish? Grisly rubbish at that. I'll admit the methods are similar to our case, but this still doesn't prove the presence of an actual Daedra. Where did you find this? I was never informed of any architectural eccentricities. Something the garrison will answer for. So that spell might have some merit. Silery claims it was leading her to a Daedra hiding in the cellar. Are you willing to stake your freedom on that? To be clear, when all is said and done with this, I'm arresting you anyway. But I'll indulge this line of inquiry. If you're right, I'm sure your cooperation will reflect favorably in your trial. Fleeing will not. Am I understood? Release her.
But, sir!
Now.
This is a mistake.
We're all done being idiots? Good. Let's find this Daedra.
This is going to end badly.
Now, children, this might be fun. I've not hunted Daedra in decades.
This light will reveal the Daedra. Be ready.
More outsider magic. Reckless silery.
Have a little faith, High. It's tracking something.
A dead end. How embarrassing.
No! After her!
Can't say I didn't warn them. Come on!
Fan out! That thing can't have gone far.
Fan out? Why? I thought you didn't believe me. Check down the hole. I'll see what I can find up ahead.
Wait your turn, morsel. You'll meet the insatiable soon enough.
Well, I think we might be on the right track. Ow. Our Daedra summoner, no doubt. No one I recognize. Begs questions, but that can wait. Give chase and find Lindefway. Silery went after her, but there was an awful lot of screaming. Through those doors. Down where we keep the wine. This place, it's Catan, but different. I'm probably not making much sense, am I? Helping the others falls to you now. Terribly sorry about that.
Oh God! It's going to eat me! Hi, Akil! Anyone, help me!
It's trying to slip away into the real world. I'll hold it as long as I can. Chew on that for a while, gut-sucker.
Silery, you saved me.
Don't look so surprised. Come on, let's get out of here.
You live? This won't do! This won't do!
The summoner, she's getting away. Lynn, can you hold this portal open?
Why? Where are you going? I can't hold it! Damn it! That was such a stupid, reckless... Damn it, Silery! I can't let her lord this over me. We have to save them. She must be hiding in these ruins. Wait, I know where we are. These ruins are right under the nose of Catan Keep. Silery and I explored here as children. We always did love mysteries. Our mothers hated it. We'd come home covered in clay. So, the mage got into Catan Keep through here somehow. Was that her reason for coming here? We still don't know our suspect. For motives, barely anything really. Gods, this investigation has really gotten away from me. A conspiracy? Now that's something I can grasp. The tone of this letter suggests our perpetrator can't afford to simply go into hiding. We're backing her into a corner. That'll make her desperate. I just felt a ripple of magicka, like the opening of those portals, but much larger. I think the others are in danger. It came from that way, across the bridge. Hurry! No sign of Duraniel, but this is definitely the epicenter of the magic I felt. There's still power clinging to this Aldma altar. It must be the bridge she is using to travel to and from the realm of that thing. Theoretically, from what little I know about opening portals to Daedric realms, there's typically an object here, in Tamriel, that is attuned to the place in question. This Aldma altar is the only thing I'm getting a strong feeling from. Not as it is. If this is a bridge, then Tyranniel has barred and locked the gates. We need to undo her spell. Then I should be able to recreate the ritual to open the way for us. In my experience, most cultists tend to just ape whatever spells and rituals someone else developed. That letter you showed me mentioned books from her benefactor. You found one for Daedra's summoning. It stands to reason there's another for this. That was dramatic. That's it! It reeks of that monster's realm. I'll hold it open. Go. Ugh, it feels like worms wriggling through my soul. I can do this. I can do this.
I won't let you ruin my big... I'll feed your corpse to the insatiable.
I'm all right. Somehow.
This way, quickly. I can't hold this open for long.
Well, I've had my fill of this place. Let's excuse ourselves before any more dinner guests arrive.
Thanks for stopping that Daedra-loving loony from sucking out my soul. You took a big risk sticking your neck out for us. But what are recent acquaintances for, right? Guess I owe Lynn, too. Not going to live that down. We'll be fine. It's not the first time someone has tried to drain and devour my soul. Happens more often than you'd think, actually. Hazards of the job. As for Hai, I think he's secretly enjoying all this excitement. She was raving about her work not being done, and how she was going to use our desiccated husks to restore the insatiable. I sort of tuned it out at a certain point, but got the impression she wasn't doing all this for her own amusement. No surprise there. Daedra worshippers always seem to work in groups. How do they even meet? Single cultist postings on the local bulletin boards? Bet they're hiding them under the crafting writs. Looks like someone got bitten by the hunting bug on this little adventure. Savor your victory, killer. Kaiton Keep is safe again thanks to you. Judging by these results, I should rope random strangers into my work more often. Kidding, kidding. Now that the immediate danger's passed, I will want to get back to combing through the details of what transpired here. It'll be really boring. Like, really boring. But since you got us back on speaking terms, I'll help Lynn and Hai investigate. Hey, don't go rubbing my nose in it. It wasn't easy fighting off Daedra with Hai slumped over my shoulder. You'd think he'd make a better shield with that hard head of his. That mage got the drop on us while we were licking our wounds. You'll want to talk to Hai about that, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. The Divine Prosecution doesn't welcome outside perspectives with open arms. If you think Hai and Lynn can be stuffy, you should see their superiors. Well, Lynn and I grew up around here. We always had a knack for sticking our noses where they didn't belong, so the divine prosecution was a natural fit. For her, anyway. Too rigid for me, so I left. He's our mentor. Was my mentor. Loves his work, and he's a good person, but he clings too tightly to protocol. He took the brunt of the abuse from our superiors when I was out of line. I thought he'd have been happy when I resigned my commission. No, I and Lynn were always more than colleagues to me. We were friends. We'll stick by each other, but the divine prosecution has a long way to go before they take back the likes of me. Not that I'd want to go back anyway.
You broke more than a dozen statutes with your antics today. Regulations state that I should place you under arrest, but I'm thinking we haven't been following much procedure today anyway. Thank you for your assistance in this investigation. I should have, shouldn't I? She was once among the best members of the Divine Prosecution, but too cavalier for most, and far too interested in unconventional methods for our superiors' tastes. For my tastes. She believed the prosecution would be better served by employing methods devised outside of Summerset. Foreign ideas, foreign magic. She faced censure many times. Frustrated, Sylary left the Order to strike out on her own. Won't let me off that easy, eh? Right. I didn't believe her because I didn't want to believe she was right. Because I still resented her selfishness in walking out on her duty. And on us. Nindefwe and I didn't agree with her, but we stuck by her. She was right. We are stubborn and stolid. If we continue to believe our way is the only way, we're going to be unprepared for the changes ahead. The Queen's decree will bury us. Convincing the divine prosecution of that, it'll be a long, hard road. Yes, I imagine you do. You've earned that, right? What in particular do you want to discuss? From what Lindefwe told me about what you found, I do have a theory, but you didn't hear it from me. In fact, I would suggest you do not repeat it to anyone who you do not implicitly trust. I believe this is the Court of Bedlam's doing. A secret society I've only caught hints of. Very influential. More than one of my investigations has ended prematurely because I caught a whiff of them. I can't prove that, of course, but a justiciar knows. If you cross paths with them, be careful. Nothing good, I wager. I don't know what they're after, but this is not the first time I've seen the heretics wield Daedra to their ends. Where there are Daedra, trouble is sure to follow. Sylary is going to be very busy when we find them. A trip to the apothecary and the keep's wine rations, not necessarily in that order. Fortunately, I don't need to be fighting fit to review evidence. I hope that by the time Lindefwe, Sylary, and I are fully on the mend, we'll have some solid leads. Not directly. It's an official investigation. People will be watching. I need to tread carefully. You have good instincts, a sense of justice, and the might to wield it. When all is said and done, I suspect we'll only arrive to clean up after you. By all means. I'm not going anywhere. Quickly, at any rate. Closed, for now. Lindefwe bridged us here for our safety. I imagine Tyranniel did something similar to enter Katon Keep undetected. A dreadfully potent ability in the wrong hands, as we've seen. The books you found will need to be sealed away. Its purpose wasn't to open the portal, though its power does pose some concerns. It would be hearsay to destroy an Aldmer artifact, but I will recommend that those ruins be patrolled regularly from now on.
I'm not good at apologies, but I'm sorry for doubting you and Sylary. Maybe, just maybe, we were wrong to reject her choice to pursue foreign magic. While her methods are unorthodox, they get results. She was always trying to convince our superiors that there was value to the methods other cultures used against crime and heresy. She'd be in a cell if Hierarchiel hadn't always stuck his neck out for her. And she just turned her back on him. On us. After a spat with the Chief Justicia about a case we were working, she threw down her oath and stormed out. She never even said goodbye. I didn't think I'd ever forgive her for that. And honestly, I haven't. But I know she still cares. I know. I would have lost them both today if not for you. It's a hard thing to forgive. Much harder than to judge. So I did. Sylary was never one for idle study, and she's always had a forceful personality, so she used to drag me out exploring, searching for mysteries and being a general nuisance. It grew on me. Our favorite spot was those secluded ruins. Alma ruins are never short on tough mysteries to crack. Our theories were dreadful, but we could lose entire days on our investigations. It was also the perfect place not to be found if we didn't want to be. I can see why it appealed to Tyranniel. Gods, no! This has been a civilized place for as long as I can remember. Our days were mostly settling petty disputes and policing troublesome speech. Now there's all sorts of madness about. I fear it'll get worse before it gets better. Immigrants are flooding to Summerset, and even the most well-intentioned trample our customs with astounding ignorance. We saved a lot of lives with what we did today, but we left centuries of procedure in shambles. Then we have the conspiracy afoot. You think I'm blind to that? I know it must seem that I judge foreigners too harshly, but remember that until recently, I only brought justice to my fellow kin who strayed. On my oath, Tyranniel's accomplices will meet justice.
Now that the immediate danger's past, I will want to get back.
No! These models just won't do. I finally decide to pursue true art, to move beyond painting backdrops for someone else's stage. And what models do I find? Polished, unblemished, all round boringly beautiful. I need someone who will give my work meaning, a depth of morality. As a matter of fact, I do. I've heard rumors of a Hulkind in the forest outside Relenthiel, a perfect subject for my work. I'd like you to serve as my proxy and arrange a meeting between us. The sinkhole nearby should serve my purpose. High elves who were cast out from their families as children. A horrible fate in our society. Summerset may appear as perfect as a pastoral painting, but darkness lies backstage. I want to face our taboos without blinking. Will you help me? Thank you for accepting my offer. I traveled to the Hulkind myself, but the wilderness is no place for an artist. Besides, they may be more willing to talk to a newcomer such as yourself. The Hulkind are well known for being distrustful. High elves strive for perfection in all things, and their bloodline most of all. Hulkinds are children abandoned by their families for some perceived imperfection, generally a physical deformity. They're more than just orphans. They're outcasts. In Summerset, family stands above all. They guide your life, almost immeasurably. To be without family is to be unseen, unrecognized as a member of our society. There's not much of a life a Hulkin can make for themselves because of that. I will admit it's an odd desire. Most don't even wish to speak of them. But as an artist, I find myself fascinated with the subject. I want to capture that taboo. To paint the morally grey, where so many only wish for black and white.
Please. I was once like you.
I hope to be done here soon.
Thank you for heeding my call, newcomer. I don't suppose your passage to Summerset brought you past Western Coraldale? My father, Kurtaros, runs a boat in an angler fleet. They're long overdue, and while his stride tends to be a leisurely one, I've never seen the whole fleet gone for so long. I'm probably over-concerned. The weather's been fair and the wind's mild. Perhaps their fishing has been so fruitful they dare not waste their good fortune. But I'd feel better if I knew what to make of their delay. The fleet set off west. Western Coraldale is an island engulfed by coral reefs, but you can reach it safely in that sailboat. I'd go with you, but I'm afraid I don't share my father's comfort with open water. Not especially. I've never been myself, but Father's only remarked about the occasional ornery coral crab or hungry salamander. The reefs are the only real hazard, but only to a ship of considerable size and flimsy make. Oh, there's not much to tell. He's plied the sea for its bounty for as long as I can recall, and that's some time, mind you. We eat well, and he makes a fair bit of coin with his best catches, but sometimes I wish he'd keep a bit more lively. Not since I was very young. My father took me fishing once, showed me how to bait a hook, coax a bite, and work the line until the catch tires out. It wasn't meant to be an eventful trip, but it turned out that way. Father dozed off, so I continued to apply what I'd learnt without him. Soon enough, I'd hooked my first catch. Or rather, it hooked me. Yanked me clear off the boat and into the deep. I was too shocked to let go of the rod, nearly drowned. Yes, fished me out of the drink, quite literally. He still calls me his prized catch. It's funnier when you're not coughing up seawater.
What? Never seen you before? Guess no one told you that this is my spot. Been my spot nearly a century. And it'll be my spot a century more, God's willing. So don't go getting any ideas. Plenty of space down the coast. So, off with you now. Huh, fancy that. I had told Hiranessa for years those sea elves would mount an invasion from Waston Coraldale. Figures they'd launch it while I was having a nap. Well, come along then. Best send them off before they hook all the best catchings. Of course. Any Royal Marine of the Queen's Navy worth their salt would. Might have traded my saber for a fishing rod, but I've still got my sea legs, and I'm still as sharp as the day I mustered. The others I sail with are civilians, though. Aye. Even if they caught a glimpse of a sea elf cutter before it reached Waston Coraldale, there's no chance a fishing boat would have outrun it. If anyone from the fleet's still alive out there, it's our duty to help them. Lest we split up. Unless my creaking knees give me away, I ought to be able to handle some scouting while you're searching for survivors. We'll rendezvous at the old lover's tree near the reef on the eastern shore. My friends will know the one. Unless I'm caught. Won't be much use to the sea elves as a prisoner, but I'll black an eye or two before I greet my maker. Tell her my children are grown and my wants are few. But I cannot say the same for my friends. I've had a good life. I don't mind trading what's left of it, so others might have the same. Three, aside from myself: Indolina, Aldoterel, and Carterel. Not much of a fleet when you compare it to the Royal Armada, but we're the scourge of anything with guilds. Hope you find them safe and sound. Too quiet. If one of them had reached the mainland, the Royal Navy would have sent ships to intercept these sea elves by now. No one knows they're here except us. Enemy movement. Numbers, positions, assess our situation. I hope to have a plan by the time you've finished your search.
Sacred Ascendants, take me home. I thought you were a sea elf. One moment I was just dipping my toes in the shallows having a pleasant day. The next there's a murderous corsair or hungry reef viper around every corner. We're trapped. He's alive. At his age, I'd have thought he'd be the first to fall prey to those sea elves. Should have given the stubborn old salt more credit. I'll make my way to him. Better than waiting to die out here. Thank you.
Stranger, don't anger the salamanders. They're the only thing keeping those sea elves from wandering too close. What are you doing out here? I've never seen you before. You're sure we're talking about the same Kurtaros? The one I know is more likely to be mistaken for dead and sleep right through this whole mess.
All this crouching is damnation on my back. But I've seen everything I need to know what the enemy's up to. How fares the search? Any sign of Carterel? Never do when it comes to these sea elves. They rob us of more than a few good souls before all is said and done here. They're digging in, placing ballistae along the shore. When the Royal Navy finally does mount an attack, they'll be taking fire from Mauamer on both land and sea. It'll be a bloodbath, unless some misfortune befalls their plans. Catch my drift? I'm not suggesting we repel the whole invasion, but I do know my way around a ballista. If we turn one toward their own ships and cause enough of a stir, we can draw on a friendly patrol and catch the sea elves out of their element. I'll get into position and await your attack. Then we'll give those sea snakes a good spearing while these two make for your vessel. You do have a vessel, don't you? All right. You two go prepare the boat our friend brought. We'll provide a distraction. Trinamac's wrath be with us.
Seals. Fond of winged snakes and soggy chests. Noted. Ah, fleshy, thick-thumbed biped. Hello. You're an elf, right? Or is it a man? I'm sorry. I have some difficulty telling you people apart. You're much less blue than the others. In color, I mean, not disposition. Anyway, what can I do for you? Josiah. Wait, you're talking about that jittery mage I tricked into freeing me, right? Oh, she's a delight. I had hoped for a longer holiday. Can only manage a leap like this once a century, after all. Ah, well. I'm actually quite comfortable here, mate. Cozy accommodations, the transliminal tones of the ocean waves, gangly meat brains to mock. But I guess I should be going. These elves plan to sell me. Can you imagine? I'll help you. On one condition. When we're done sewing up these chronosymphonic when we're done sewing up these time breaches, you'll let me wander the Mundus in peace. No more dim-witted Sijiks peppering me with questions. No more dusty shelves. You have a deal? Right. So, should we get going, or...? Of course you do. Everyone asks questions, and I have all the answers. Fair warning. Be specific. I'm bound to tell the truth, but the truth can be a little... slippery. You know what I mean? I'm a traveler like you. Except, well, nothing like you, to be honest. No offense. I'm what you might call an aspect, eh? Like, an idea's shadow. Don't make a face, I'm telling you the truth. Not my fault your language is so crude. I'm not in the skull. I am the skull. At least here on Nern. Over in the adjacent place, I'm shaped like a throat pillow. Imagine that. You look confused. It's just a trick of the light, mate. The skull's what you might call a manifestation of me. Ah, this is just sad. Try this. Imagine a soul gem. Got it? Now imagine that the soul in the gem is also the gem itself. Weird, right? Ha! Mime and a head explosion. You can't see it because I haven't got any arms, but it's happening. I am one of the unfortunate quirks of the Sijic binding ritual that brought me here. I'm free to lie as much as I like, unless you, or anyone else for that matter, ask me a direct question. Cheap trick if you ask me. They did, a bit. I'm certain I could break out if I really put my mind to it. I don't blame them, honestly. If I was in their position, bobbing along like a little lost acorn in an ocean of knowledge, I'd want to trap me too. I guess, but instantaneous translocation's not like a Sundar stroll. The veil here in Mundus is all thick and sticky, you know? Like I said before, I think I'm grounded for the foreseeable future. Oh well. I am. I had no idea you were so funny. We're gonna have a really good time, you and I. Yes, in answer to your direct question, I do know a lot, and by a lot, I mean basically everything. Well, an augur of the obvious wouldn't be very useful, would it? For what it's worth, I lobbied for something way more impressive. The resplendent skull of hexagonal wonders! It was forcefully vetoed. No counting for taste, I guess. Of course I do. Everything has a name. Names give a thing its shape. Birds, snowflakes, tea kettles, you get the idea. I'd tell you mine, but you'd need about 6 more tongues and a pair of symbols to pronounce it correctly, so let's not bother. Fair enough. So, where to? I assume you've got a map or something?
Hold them all while I spear that cutter!
didn't call me the scourge of the sea drakes for nothing! That'll do. Fall back and get to the boat. Captain coming aboard. Boat's prepped and ready.
Father, you had me so worried. What happened? Where's your boat?
None of that now, my nervous cup. I'll tell you all about it. But first, there's one more thing we need to see to. Come, friends. It's time we commit our memories to the drink.
He washes up here after being gone for weeks, his boat nowhere in sight, and he acts like it's just another day on the sea. Was everything all right? Did he cause you any trouble? Oh, he put you up to that, didn't he? Papa always loves to embellish his journeys. Whatever the truth is, I'm just glad you brought him home safe. If all newcomers are so kind, Summerset will be fortunate to have you. He's not fooling me. I can tell something happened. Father's putting on a brave face, like he used to whenever I'd ask him about his younger days. He'd smile and deflect the question, but I could see a sadness in his eyes he couldn't hide. His secret. The fanciful story of meeting my mother, a myth about how the moon and stars winked on the day of my birth, and tall tales about his fishing voyages. Before that, not a word. Not once. I don't think I'll ever get the truth out of him. 70 years isn't enough. I love my father, but all I want is to love him for who he is, not who he shows me. When he was missing, I wasn't just worried I'd lose him. I was worried I'd never get the chance to know him. You didn't come here to listen to a grown woman bawling about her father to a stranger. Forgive me. You did enough bringing him home safe. What comes after is up to me. He and his mates have a tradition of celebrating their safe return. They're partial to a small batch brewer on the south side of Alenor, by the craft masons. They'll probably be there all night. Oh yes, she and Carterell have been together for years. She used to look after me when I was younger, while Father and the others were off at sea. She's a good friend. I imagine she'll be with Father and the others, waiting to see Carterell when she arrives. The fanciful story of... You're serious? So what you said about the sea elves attacking, it was all true? What's he hiding? Was he a pirate? I always wondered if he didn't talk about it because he was ashamed. Why would he hide that? I'm sorry, I have so many questions and it's not you who has the answers. I'll leave my father to the company of his friends for now, but when he's ready to come home, he can't leave his other life behind this time.